Ignite. We do this once a month, and it's outreach to the community. You know, it's just open to the public, and we talk about different topics every month. And so you happen to come to Hearing from God. So we want to encourage you to definitely take notes and just enjoy this time. This is a great time of just learning and teaching. And Pastor Donnell is going to be doing this session, and so he's going to share some great insight for us concerning hearing from God. I know
2 Timothy 3, verses 16 to 17. Let's read this together after 3. All scripture is inspired by God and is useful to teach us what is true and to make us realize what is wrong in our lives. It corrects us when we are wrong and teaches us to do what is right. God uses it to prepare and equip his people to do every good work. So one of the first things you always learn is, if I want to begin to hear God's voice, God speaks through scripture. It's easy. Where that. And they asked him, why do you keep doing this? He said, because you guys have eyes that see, you have ears that hear. And he said, there have been great men, there have been prophets that have dreamed of seeing the things that you see and hearing the things that you hear, but they never did. And the point is this: just like when he said, my sheep hear my voice and I know them and they follow me, he had a relationship with the disciples that he did not have with the masses. And they followed him. They really followed him. They were people who, when Jesus spoke, they listened. If he said jump, they were like, how high, Jesus? And he was like, as a result, I'm going to tell you plainly everything I'm trying to say, and I'm not going to be mysterious. And one of the things is, people who don't really know God well continue to hear God in very mysterious, complex terms and think that's amazing. Well, let me tell you something. The Lord spoke to me today, and then they tell you some complex thing that makes no sense, and you just like, wow. So he don't want you to understand? Because, well, that don't make no sense. I mean, I'm sure it makes you feel good that he said something, but you can't do anything with that. But you feel good about it, I'm sure, which is great. But at some point, we have to graduate from that and realize God really wants us to understand what he's saying, and he wants us to really get him. And he wants us to have a true relationship with him, like we have a relationship with a person. And he wants to just talk to us casually like he did with Adam in the garden. But that's a process and a stage that you don't get to until you get serious about developing that relationship with him, and until you gradually obey.
Because you've conditioned yourself just to hear his voice, just like going to the gym, flexing the muscle. It's the kind of thing. And it's harder when we don't do the little things with him in mind, and then we go to him for a big issue that we're facing, and he's eager and he's answering, but it's harder to hear. It just is a hard thing, you know, and it gets, you kind of feel confused, and you feel like you need a third and second voice to kind of help validate if that's what you're hearing or not. And so I found that in my own walk, and that's what the Lord's been doing with me, and I thank God for that. But I just want to encourage you that that's how you grow in your ability to hear from God. Just start where you are and just begin. Okay, God, I want to fine tune, I want to sharpen my hearing even in the little things, and then he will, out of his faithfulness, continue to speak.
Πάτερ ημών, που εις ουρανείς, αγιαστήτω το όνομά σου, ελθέτω η βασιλεία σου, γεννηθήτω το θέλημά σου, ως τον ουρανό του υπ' της γης, τον άτομο ημών του δικαιούσιον, δώσει με σήμερον, και άφησε με τα οφειλήματα, ως κοιμής αφίεμε τους οφειλέτες ημών, και μη εις ενέχεις ημάς του Ιησού, αλλά εις ημάς του.
Dear Father, let me pray to you. I got so much to say to you. I was taught not to play with you, so I don't know why I do all the things that I do. First tell my daddy, I said what it do. Hey dad, we love you and we missing you, even though you went away at 52. Lord, I know it's better cause he said with you. Been kinda nervous to take bigger steps, fear of the higher heights and the deep deeper depths. I was cool with